In this lesson, we are going to simulate camera movements across a very large image. Instead of working with small footage, we will use a high-resolution version of Rembrandt's The Night Watch, which is one of Rembrandt's most famous works and a masterpiece of the Dutch Golden Age. So, this painting is much larger than our composition. That makes it ideal for practicing pan and zoom, or what is often called the Faux Motion Control. We are going to create an illusion that camera moves across the painting, focusing on one figure, then pulling back and moving to another area. But first we will do it in the frustrating way, using position and scale. In the project panel, using Ctrl-I, upload the painting The Night Watch, which you can download by the link in the first comment to this video. Create a composition with 15 seconds duration. Keep the name as composition 1, comp 1. Now drag this image into the composition. This image is significantly larger than the comp. Drag it around in the composition panel. Notice how you can move from the captain in black with the red sash to the lieutenant in yellow and to the illuminated girl in the background. And to the darker crowd behind. If you double-click the image in the project panel, you can see the full painting in the footage panel. Close the footage panel for now. Select the layer in the timeline. Press P to reveal position. Then press Shift S to also reveal the scale. Move the playhead to 0 seconds 0 frames by pressing Home. Enable keyframing for both position and scale. Let's say we want to start tightly focused on the captain's face. Drag the image until his face is centered. Now reduce the scale value slightly to zoom out and reveal more of the surrounding figures. Watch carefully what happens. As soon as you adjust scale, the framing shifts. The captain is no longer centered. Why? Because scaling happens around the anchor point, not around the area you are visually focusing on. So now you must adjust scale, then fix position, then tweak scale again, then fix position again. It becomes a constant correction process. Move the playhead to the end of the composition by pressing End. Now focus on the girl in the golden dress in the background. Set a different scale value to zoom in on her. Again, as soon as you change scale, the framing drifts. You must readjust position again and again. When animating position and scale together, scale always happens relative to the anchor point. And unless the anchor point sits exactly at your visual center of interest, your zoom will never stay locked on the subject. This makes smooth camera style motion difficult. But there is a better way. Instead of animating position, we animate the anchor point. That changes everything. In the next section, you will fix this properly, and your camera will finally behave like a real one. Now we shift from frustration to control. We are going to fix this problem properly, still using Night Watch. This time we will not animate position at all. We will simulate camera movement by animating anchor point plus scale. Faux Motion Control, the correct method. Still using the night watch. Start fresh. Delete the night watch layer in the comp 1. Now this composition is empty. From the sources folder, select night watch JPG. Press Ctrl / for Windows or Command / for Mac. This adds the image to the center of the composition at 0 seconds 0 frames. Important, do not move the layer in the composition panel. We want the position value to remain centered in the comp. The position will stay fixed. The camera will move another way. Step 2. Prepare the right properties. Select the night watch layer. Press S to reveal scale. Then press Shift A to reveal anchor point also. Move the playhead to 0 seconds 0 frames. Enable keyframing for anchor point and scale. From this moment on, do not reposition the layer in the comp panel. We are no longer dragging the image. We are controlling the frame through anchor point. Now double-click night watch layer in the timeline. This opens the layer panel. Now put both composition panel and layer panel side by side. Now you should have composition panel on the left, layer panel on the right, and timeline visible below. In both panels, set magnification to fit, so you can see the full painting in the layer panel. In the layer panel, change the view menu to anchor point path. You may not see it directly, so readjust the framing. Now you will see the crosshair representing the anchor point. In the layer panel, drag the crosshair to the face of the captain in black with the red sash. Notice what happens. The image in the comp panel shifts, but the position value does not change. You are not moving the layer. You are redefining the center of the scaling. This is the key concept. Now adjust the scale value. Increase it slightly to zoom out or zoom in. Notice the difference from the previous method. The zoom happens around the captain's face. The framing stays stable. Nothing slides unpredictably. You are zooming into your subject cleanly. Why this works? When you animate scale alone, it always scales around the anchor point. If you move the anchor point to your subject first, scale will respect that subject. This is why we kept position fixed. We stopped dragging the layer. We moved the anchor point instead. So we are not scaling a flat image. We are simulating camera focus. So what you just did, instead of fighting position plus scale, you separated responsibilities. Anchor point defines the focal center. Scale defines zoom level. Position remains stable. This creates clean Faux motion control. Now we move from static framing to true camera motion. You already created the first keyframe at 0 seconds 0 frames, focusing on the captain. Now we will animate the movement across the night watch. Move the playhead to the end of the composition. Press End. Now, and this is crucial, work only in the layer panel. Do not drag the image in the composition panel. In the layer panel, drag the anchor point crosshair to a new area of the painting. For example, move it toward the illuminated girl in gold, or toward the darker figures on the right. As soon as you move the anchor point, After Effects automatically creates a new keyframe. Now adjust scale to define your new zoom level. Notice something important. The image remains centered in the composition panel. It doesn't drift. Why? Because position has never changed. The anchor point defines the focal center. Position keeps that center locked in the middle of the composition. This is the entire trick behind clean Faux Motion Control. If keyframing was enabled earlier, you will now see a motion path. But notice something subtle. The motion path appears in the layer panel, not in the composition panel. That's because we are animating the anchor point, not position. And yes, anchor point motion paths have Bezier handles, just like position paths. Click on the motion path in the layer panel. Okay, we do not see the Bezier handles. Good, this is a classic anchor point confusion moment. Let's fix it calmly. If you do not see Bezier handles at the end of the anchor point path, here is exactly what is happening. Anchor point keyframes are currently set to linear spatial interpolation. Linear keyframes show a straight line, do not show handles, and do not allow curvature. Even if temporal interpolation is eased, not in our case, spatial can still be linear. In the timeline, shift-click both keyframes. Right-click one of the selected keyframes, choose Keyframe Interpolation. Look at Spatial Interpolation. If it says Linear, change it to Bezier. Click OK. Now go back to the layer panel. You should see Bezier handles appear. So you now see the small handles near the keyframes. Drag those handles to create a smooth arc. Instead of a straight mechanical move, create a gentle curved glide across the painting. If you can't see the handles clearly, hold Alt for Windows or Option for Mac and drag from the keyframe icon to manually create Bezier handles. Adjust both ends until the motion feels natural. Think of it as the camera floating through space, not sliding on rails. Click inside the composition panel so it becomes active. This is important, otherwise you will preview the layer panel. Press spacebar to preview. You should now see a smooth pan across the night watch, a controlled zoom, not drifting or fighting between position and scale. This is a Faux Motion Control done correctly. In a real project, you would enable motion blur, apply Easy Ease to smooth the timing, adjust velocity in the graph editor. We will cover those refinements later. What you just achieved? You separated responsibilities. Anchor point controls focal direction. Scale controls zoom. Position remains stable. You are no longer moving an image. You are simulating a camera. That's the conceptual upgrade. So, to cover the steps we went through, please use an infographics I have prepared for this lesson. Practice it, and I will see you at our next meeting. Thank you.